There have been numerous people that have given testimony to, the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. So there's certainly lots of things going on. But at the same time, I like to try to make sure that I keep myself grounded and realize that there is, significant hurdles ahead. For example, if you listen to what Jake Barber was telling Ross Coulthart in terms of, giving testimony to members of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, that there are people that are literally afraid inside of Congress of touching this with a 10-foot pole. They're scared, not just for their reputations, not just because of the seats they hold and afraid of losing election, but they're scared for their safety and well-being, because this is a serious issue and people have been threatened. And if you listen to David Grush and Jake Barber and others, there are serious allegations that have reportedly been run up the chain of commands to ICs and the Department of Justice that, people have, been murdered in the process of this cover-up. So there are serious obstacles still ahead that we can't have our blinders onto. That you also take into consideration the fact that like about 50 offices last year on Capitol Hill about UAP, and the vast majority have just absolutely no idea what I'm talking about when I first walk in. But after 30 minutes, they're like deer caught in headlights. They are blown away by, the evidence of the fact this isn't just a modern phenomenon that the Department of Defense started to look into over the last 20 years, that it dates back to at least the 1940s. That the things that people are witnessing now, even, some of the instances in some of the drone incursions that we've seen, to the Tic Tac, to other instances, especially over nuclear facilities and military installations, that we had these same sorts of occurrences back in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. This is a very real thing that's been going on, and they've been very good at covering it up for 80 years, and they're going to do their best to make sure that that cover-up continues. So while at the same time we have momentum and there's reason for optimism, we have to make sure that we are paying attention to the fact that, the gatekeepers and people involved in the program, whatever you want to call it, are very good at what they do. And they've been very successful for 80 years. And they're going to do whatever they can to make sure that continues.
Yeah, that's the sobering reality right there. I'm curious, late last year, we had a number of precipitating events. We had the mystery drone anomalous vehicle issue starting in the UK over US air bases and nuclear armed facilities there, and then moving over to New Jersey, and then reappearing in Europe, Ramstein Air Force Base, Germany, and then spreading out over other parts of the US. So we had that. We had the congressional hearings with 4 whistleblower testimonies being provided sometime in November, I believe, right after the election. And then we had the election, right? And President-elect Trump has gone on various platforms to talk about, in no uncertain terms, that he's been told about UAP. He's been told there's something there and that he would disclose. And he's also gone further to make some pretty large statements regarding what might be behind the phenomenon. So how are you both seeing these converge in the last 3 months? I mean, is there a burst of interest? Is there a burst of the suppression of interest? What's the kind of bead on the beltway and the inner reality in terms of the government and how they're responding?
In my personal opinion, I don't think that the drone incursions over, the military installations in the UK, over places in New Jersey and other parts of the United States, it wasn't just New Jersey, it was other places too, Australia and other countries that were reporting similar episodes of anomalous objects in the sky. I'm not sure that it has anything to do with the election or Donald Trump. So that would be sort of a separate sort of bucket. And then, Trump, obviously, he's unpredictable. He's a bit of a wild card, but that's potentially why, he is somebody that's sort of perfect for the time, potentially, to do something that is unpredictable and unexpected, which would be to stand up to, the people that have kept the secret for so long and reveal something that they don't want revealed. And that speaks to the heart of, what he calls the so-called deep state. And, if there is such a thing, that is the deep state. It is the people that have, obscured and obfuscated, engaged in disinformation campaigns to hide the reality of a non-human intelligence, objects in the skies that are made by a non-human intelligence, what the implications of those things are, the possible technologies involved, all sorts of things. So Donald Trump, just might be the person to finally crack the nut on this.